less than a minute.
Yeah.
It's 14 0.
That was brutal.
Yeah.
It was over.
That was rough.
And then it was still 14 0.
I thought you said he was.
Have a good halftime speech, got all fired up and whooped up. They,
lost the bet.
yeah,
Yeah.
they turned the 14 to 41.
Uh-huh.
They are.
It hurt worse as a former member.
Huge short face.
He and I.
Oh.
So we had a lot to say to him.
Hey, Paul, it's nice to see Craig somewhere where he can't yell at me in the middle of my golf swing.
I'm just saying hello to people that always greet me when I'm walking down the road.
Okay, it is 6:30. We've got as full a house as we're going to get, I assume. So go ahead and call this first meeting in November of 25 to order. Mayor is out of town enjoying some competitive volleyball, I believe. So, and I'm going to go ahead and log out of my work Slack. So hold on 1 second. Excellent. Okay. The first item on the agenda is communications. If anybody has anything that they would like to,
Let's approve the agenda first.
let's go ahead and do that first.
I would move to approve the agenda as written.
Excellent.
I'll second.
We have that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Now the communications. Thank you. If you would like to address the council on any item that isn't on the agenda, feel free to come on up to the mic. You've got 5 minutes. We'd appreciate name and address. Hit the little button until it turns green.
There we go.
Excellent.
Thank you, council members. I'm Jamie Toledo. I'm with ITC Midwest. I have been with ITC Midwest under a year, so I wanted to come out and introduce myself. But I'm also here asking for an electric franchise for ITC Midwest and the city. And the reason for that is because in 2008, Alliant Energy sold off their transmission assets. So ITC Midwest handles only transmission, which is the electric highway, if you will. We're agnostic to whatever kind of energy generation is placed on that highway. Could be wind, could be nuclear, could be any number of things. But we are actively and proactively trying to reinforce the grid, making sure that we have reliability, that we can withstand weather conditions that are happening, and also just proactively looking at the energy demand that's coming our way. Your city is growing, and that's why we felt like it probably was time to put this into play. So what that is basically it's just a contract that allows us to operate our assets in the area. So you've seen us out here already, and I thank all of you for being so easy to work with for permits and talking to your city staff about any infrastructure needs, if you're going to be widening streets or new poles moved. And what this will do is just clearly define who has the responsibilities for cost. Most of the time that is us. Sometimes there's an exception to your rule when the city might want something to go underground. Distribution lines, really easy to do that. So Alliant Energy is an example. Not so easy with transmission lines, particularly the voltages that we're seeing nowadays. So you might be familiar with a lot of the upgrades that are happening, but they're going from 69 kV to 161 and then bumping up to 345. The good news about that is the poles are bigger, but there's fewer of them because it pushes the energy farther along. So I left some information on that. I'm happy to come at any point in time and talk to anyone about what that means. If you want, we've done field visits and tours in different cities that are seeing a lot of upgrade in infrastructure so that you get an understanding of what all's involved, the health risks, anything that your citizens might come to you for. Happy to do that. So I'm doing one in Marshalltown coming up here at the end of the month. And otherwise, I want to also mention that my team is a small team. I cover 10 counties, but I always have my cell phone on. You can always contact me there. Doesn't bother me at all. If there's anything that you need, and I can get you to the right person if it's not something I can answer. But also, if you have nonprofits in the area, I know we've given into Mount Vernon as far as some of your summer day kind of activities that you have going on in events. My little team has up to $5,000 that we can approve for community impact things. So I just wanted to mention that too. So nice to meet all of you. And this will take about, I think, 3 different readings to get through. We're doing this well in advance of when we need it, so we don't really need it for another year. But we'd like to be able to hit the ground running when there is an infrastructure need or you have something that you want done immediately. We have that franchise in place. So thank you again. And if you have any questions, just let me know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else who would like to address council on something that isn't already on the agenda? Not seeing anybody present or online, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Looks like we've got the council minutes from our previous meeting of October 14th, as well as a liquor license for Lincoln Wine Bar.
Move to approve the consent agenda. Second.
Excellent. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we've got a public hearing. And this one...
At this time, there's
Yeah.
no reason to have a public
Okay.
hearing if you see any bids.
Okay.
So this item and then the resolution that accompanies it need no formal action.
What's the theoretical next step here?
We can actually look to hire a realtor if we want. We can keep the property, it doesn't necessarily matter one way or the other. We can advertise again. There's a few options, we'll send it for.
Yeah, can we go spray and see? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any questions? Sure. Before I let you. Bye. Bye.
Okay, so because there were no, just to bring people up to speed, we listed the Public Works property at 1040 2nd Avenue North. We expected, or we had anticipated bids by yesterday, or this afternoon maybe, something like that. And Friday, and received no bids, so that's why we're not holding the public hearing, because there was no reason to hold a public hearing on bids that didn't show up. Moving on to item F, we've got ordinance providing the general property taxes levied and collected each on certain property located within the Stonebrook urban renewal area in the city of Mount Vernon, County of Lynn, State of Iowa, by and for the benefit of the State of Iowa, City of Mount Vernon, County of Lynn, Mount Vernon Community School District, and other taxing districts, be paid to a special fund for payment of principal and interest on loans, monies advanced to and indebtedness, including bonds issued or to be issued, incurred by the city in connection with the Stonebrook Urban Renewal Area Phase 5 parcels.
Nothing new on this one.
I would move the third and final reading. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Questions, concerns, comments? Okay. This is roll call, I believe. Okay.
Turler,
Yes.
West, yes. Engel,
Yes.
Andreessen,
Yes.
Rose.
Yes. And the motion passes. Item G, resolutions for approval. Our first one on the docket, establishing a public hearing date for a petition establishing a city emergency medical service district under 357G of the Iowa Code.
So this is just a new resolution. You had established it for actually this meeting. However, the public hearing had to be in the paper 2 consecutive weeks. The last one no less than 10 days before the meeting. So the 17th is the only day that works. So we went ahead and changed the dates in the public hearing notice in the paper. And in order for those to match, we're just asking that you adopt this resolution establishing the
So we had set it for today, didn't meet the
Correct.
notification requirements, so we just need to move it to.
Didn't realize it was 2 consecutive papers.
Gotcha.
With that explanation, I'll move approval of resolution 11-3-2025A, establishing a public hearing date of November 17th.
Second.
Excellent. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Andreessen?
Yes.
Turler?
Yes.
Rose?
Yes.
West? Yes. Engel?
Yes.
And the motion carries. All right. Second resolution under G, we've got approving the sale of public property. Yep, we just discussed this one, so no action is needed there. We'll circle back at a future date. Moving on to G3, approving the Department of Transportation Street Finance Report for fiscal year 2025.
This is just a report that we submit to the state. Essentially, every year we have to explain where the road use tax dollars that we get are being utilized.
There's no questions or concerns. I move approval of resolution 11-3-2025C, approving the DOT street finance report for fiscal year 2025.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Rose?
Yes.
Engel?
Yes.
West? Yes. Andreessen?
Yes.
Turler?
Yes.
And the motion carries. We have no mayoral proclamation. Ooh, I could have some. This is when it's good that I didn't have any prep, I'll be honest with you. We have no old business. Moving on to J, motions for approval. We've got the claims list. We have the one in the packet, and then an addendum was sent out this afternoon.
Eldon, you bought a street sweeper,
We did.
35 grand.
Yeah, we got a good deal.
You're sure negotiating.
Well, that wasn't a surprise to us.
No.
So I will move to approve the claims list.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? All those in favor of approving the claims list as presented, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and consideration of first due reporting invoice for the Mount Vernon Fire Department.
This is for their software management.
Yes, annual maintenance cost of $14,167.13.
I would move approval of the first due invoice number 5907 to Mount Vernon Fire Department's software management system, $14,167.13.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and consideration, J3, discussion and consideration of the Nelson Electric proposal for the First Street pedestrian crossing.
This is an item that's been discussed at the council for quite a while, but it's the crosswalk at First Street and A Avenue. These are solar-powered pedestrian crossing, so you will flash below the sign to garner attention. It has been proposed to have a four-way intersection there. I think the goal is to try this attempt first. First being a major collector, trying to have multiple four-way stops kind of defeats the purpose. So the thought here is that this does what we're asking it to do.
So will these be flashing all the time like the ones at Cornell that are really
No,
really-
just actively, they have a button if you look at them or underneath.
Okay. Thank you.
No.
And then would we be able to take the current sign in the road and use it in another intersection where there's a crosswalk, such as, I believe it's 8th Avenue and First Street.
So the tough, tough part about that intersection is that there's a lot of heavy truck traffic turning in that intersection. So putting one of those signs there just won't work very well.
That's a good point.
So,
I'm glad you're here.
To answer your question, can we move that? Yes, we can move it.
Okay.
Would I suggest moving it to that intersection?
got rid of
Yeah, I
it.
agree with Jason too. Hadn't thought that through. But good. So there is the opportunity to continue to use it in another appropriate location. Thank you.
And this would be just in the same spot where, you know, that standing sign is in the middle of the road? Is that-
So the crosswalk will go on what would be the west side of the intersection of these guys.
Yes, that's, okay.
There'll be indicator signs that will lead up stating that there's a pedestrian crossing in both directions, and then these will be activated. I think the reason for this particular intersection is this is where kids come to get on the bus.
Okay.
There are 20-plus businesses in the First Street building.
And there was an incident a few years ago, I remember.
There was an incident not that long ago, I believe.
Really? Yeah.
That was not that intersection
Oh,
this year, but there was an incident where with a child. Yeah.
I was there for the dance class.
I would move approval, let me go back to my right page here, of the Nelson Electric proposal for the First Street pedestrian crossing in the amount of $7,447.
One second.
Have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to J4, discussion and consideration of the Fisher Drywall Public Works Office Area work.
so the next two are for drywall at both the Public Works. So it would be the office / break room area, and then the Bryan building. They're similar in cost. The Bryan building is obviously smaller than the office area, which should be less complicated. So you'd think that the price would be significantly different, but there's a different kind of drywall that's used inside the Bryan because it's so corrosive. So the Public Works Shop office area is $8,657, and then the Bryan building is $8,546.16. You will need a second motion for both.
Move approval of the Fisher drywall for the Public Works office area in the amount of $8,657.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Quick question, how close are we then? I mean, with drywall, we've got to get veneerings and finishing work and that sort of stuff, right?
Yes, we get done with that, and then we can finish hooking up the rest, like cover plates and electrical outlets and that sort of thing. The HVAC's all finished, the gas is ran, electric's done. I think the only thing we're waiting on is for Mechanicsville Telephone to actually get the fiber into the building. It's there, it's just not hooked up to anything, so the IT stuff can all be, the stuff RC Tech has already installed could then be operable.
Actually, connected.
Just need to
But yeah, and then we still have some wall covering and stuff to do on the outside wall of
Getting
that.
to a good time of year to do that kind of stuff.
But yeah, for sure.
Excellent.
We won't be, well, I'll just wait till the next one, sorry.
We have a motion and a second on the floor for the first Fisher Drywall invoice. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The second invoice for the brine shed that Chris explained in the amount of $8,546.16. You had a comment?
Yeah, we won't be operating out of there this winter as far as the brine goes, so we're not in a huge rush to get it done, but it would be nice to finish that off and get everything plumbed in and that sort of thing. We do not currently have a heater in there either, so it'll be something we'll have to do, but Yeah, we went back and forth on what to do with the wall covering in there, and we could go cheaper and just throw some plywood up or something like that. I did not want to use anything metal, because I did not want that to fall apart. Regular drywall would just kind of start peeling apart. So the contractor was not real fond of doing it that way, so he checked with his provider. Went over a few things, in this gypsum chipboard, I think is what he called it, was the consensus on what to use. So I didn't, would anything else last as long as I'm here? Maybe. But again, kind of my big thing is I don't want the next guy going, what the heck was he thinking? So as far as longevity, it's a new building, I just want to do it right, so that's kind of the route we took.
Sounds good. Chris, anything to add?
I would move approval of the official drywall public works brine shed project in the amount of $8,546.16.
Second.
Excellent. We have a motion and a second on the floor. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. J6, discussion and consideration of change order number 1 for the 2025 sidewalk improvement plan.
The increase is in the amount of $3,298.50. And I believe this is for intersection.
College Boulevard and 7th Avenue where the buses come out and turn into College.
Is it appropriate that we have 2 change order number 1s for sidewalk improvements?
The second is a pay application.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Change order and pay application.
They used to do that all the time with resolutions and ordinances too. We did the same number.
I would move approval of change order in the amount of $3,298.50.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. You mentioned Mother Nature potentially putting a halt on this. How close are we to being done? And by done, I mean in this phase sense, not in
Made
the
really
overall
good
sidewalk
progress.
sense. Yeah.
They actually did. It was a slow, pretty frustrating start for Lee, trying to get these guys going. Once they got established,
Once
they've
they
been
got
doing pretty decent. We're almost there. So, in a normal situation, and Ellen will correct me if I'm wrong, but you could blanket and do some other things. It's a little bit more difficult on a sidewalk situation just because there's so many moving parts that sometimes it's just easier to pull off and then start back up in the spring. So, temp-wise, the evenings are getting, I think at the end of the week, are supposed to get down to freezing. So, we're pretty close.
But it's not like we're only halfway done and now we're gonna maybe pull the plug.
About 2/3.
2/3, okay. Perfect.
Yeah, the work has gone very well in my neighborhood, appreciate it, and the other areas I've seen.
Now DOT specs say that it has to be 34 rising to actually pour during the day. So as long as we stay above that during the day, we're fine. If lows get below freezing at night, then they'll need to cover with burlap or blankets. So I think we've talked about that, and I'm sure they already know that, but looks like we got at least another week, good week anyway.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you. We have a motion and a second for J6 on that change order number 1. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. J7, discussion and consideration of pay application number 1 for the sidewalk improvement plan.
The application is in the amount of $34,277.38, and it basically just gave you my spiel on last one.
I would move approval of application number 1 in the amount of $34,277.38. for this 2025 sidewalk improvements.
Second?
All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. J8, discussion and consideration of Springville Ready Mix invoice 83314 for the Bryant Road Trail project.
It's in the amount of $7,179.50.
The work is all done, correct?
That was the last piece of the puzzle.
I would move approval of the Springville Ready Mix invoice number 48025, is that right? 83314, sorry. Put the wrong number there. In the amount of $7,179.50, recognizing this is the final complete invoice.
Second.
Excellent. We have a motion and a second for that Springville Ready Mix invoice. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. J9, discussion and consideration of the V&K engineering invoice for the Highway 1 reconstruction project.
Again, this is for design services in the amount of $23,322.
I would move approval of the B&K invoice number 51361-15, the amount of $23,322.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second on that V&K invoice. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. Tom gave me no mayoral reports, so, Chris?
Just that city offices will be closed on Tuesday, November 11th. We had originally planned to go to Cindy Rowland's listening post basically in Center Point, but I think I'm going to be able to make it this year. I don't feel that bad because Cindy is actually, she makes herself fairly available throughout the year, so I think we'll just take our half hour, 45 minutes and do it individually outside of the larger group.
Sounds good. Skipped over, were there any council reports?
Child Care Solutions met last Wednesday, so just a week ago. And the budget blind space is still in play. We have a person that was going to meet with Cassidy over there and see if it's a suitable space. But other than that, the last thing that we said was how do we want to prioritize what we do for the next 30, 60, 90 days. And the consensus of the group was to let child care providers know that if families begin to feel the pinch of the government shutdown and have to make choices between child care and food or rent or whatever, to let our group know. So if we could help in any way. And I've reached out to area pastors and the champions in both towns to let them know that.
Excellent. Good work, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Beyond that, tomorrow is election day, so double check where you vote. If you're one of the older folks and are used to coming here because you live on the north side, by here I mean City Hall. Rethink that, you'll go to St. John's, and otherwise?
Both election sites are open.
Correct.
And so
So this is basic, the City Hall is Cornell and the southwest quadrant for the most part. Everybody else is at the Catholic Church.
It's 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Right. I believe they were gonna try and come in tonight to set up, so.
Excellent. Any other meeting, or any other business that needs to come before the council? Seeing none, adjourn the meeting. Thanks.
30 minutes, lifetime break.